Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today, we may be a fanatical iconoclast, but we're also still more or less Imperialis. So with that in mind, we've got the new DLC installed, we've got our new companion waiting in the wings. Not aboard our ship just yet, but they should pop up as soon as we start moving around. And we've got a boatload of new assorted items, courtesy of Danrock. Though I've got to say, going through them, aside from one or two notable exceptions, it's mostly stuff that sadly just hasn't really scaled well. Though some are definitely intended to be endgame items, like the faux hammer or this fancy pants shotgun we're coming up on here. Which I do find questionable, but perhaps I'm missing something. Maybe there's some synergy there with the new Overseer class I have yet to recognize. So, sadly, not a lot there we're actually going to use. Oh, though I will also note, the Halo device has changed since last we looked at it. Anyway, aside from that, I have dabbled a bit with the new class, the Overseer. Haven't really put it through its paces yet, but I did go ahead and take the opportunity to respec Adira, so we could check out this beauty. Sadly, it does seem the new familiars are locked to the Overseer class, so we're not going to get a ton of use out of them, unfortunately, but we will at least get to use them for Adira's quest and for the new guy's thing. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and clear this off our plate so we can hopefully usher the new guy in. Immediately after the ship approaches close enough to the planet, the strange artifact from the homunculus's laboratory activates. Trying to receive the incoming signal from the planet's surface, the black faces of the prism have started to emit a pulsating lilac light. The Augur team reports that the source of the signal is a small beacon which cannot be studied from orbit. A group of living organisms is detected around the beacon. Which would seem to indicate this is not a landing site, it's just a text event. That does not bode well for our scout team. A disgusting sight unfolds before the scouts. In a sinister, high-fenced enclosure, hideous mutants crawl and writhe. Hundreds of ugly beasts, their shapes vaguely reminiscent of humans, squirm on several pairs of deformed arms and legs. Incapable of attacking or doing much of anything else beyond crawling in the dirt, the creatures are riven with endless pain, which seems to feed the Drukhari beacon at the very center of the pen. A pulsating lilac light flows from the beacon. Yeah, that seems about right. Alright, let's see what this beacon does. The activated beacon on the planet emits a thin, lilac beam, sending out a signal which is promptly intercepted by the artifact on board. The prism unfolds into many small petals, and shows a holographic image of a certain planet, and corresponding coordinates. Oh, okay, so this is just like a stopover. Tervantius is apparently in another castle. Interesting. You know what, that works out just fine. We've got a date with a cyber doggo. Might as well grab that beacon on the way out. I'm sure that'll go well. Hey, have a stack of Xenos artifacts. Now what fate has befallen our sacrificial scout team? In response to the beacon's attempted removal, the collars and chains binding the mutants together suddenly activate, emitting a series of destructive impulses that slowly inflate and explode the beasts, one after the other. In nightmarish agony, writhing and shrieking from unbearable pain, the homunculus's victims are finally granted their deaths and long-awaited freedom. You know what? I'm going to say that's probably for the best. I mean, we could have definitely made it cleaner, but end result is still more or less the same. Which I guess means we're done here. And yes, the plundered Void Station was, in fact, the hotbed of Xeno heresy. Armor 4. I think that's up near Viabo 6. Oh, and let's equip the one notable item from our giant stack of new cargo. Namely, this, the Power Shield Amplifier. Plus 20% to all shield facings. I mean, why would we not use that? It's not like we've gotten much use out of our other arsenal slot items. And with that done, now we move on to... Yes, okay. Armor 4, just one jump southeast of Viabo 6. Obviously not a priority at the moment, but we'll at least start heading in that direction. I'm sure we've got some new travel events queued. We just need to jump around to shake them loose. That actually works out pretty well, too. We've got that colony event plus that other rumor zone. So 3 things we can clear off our to-do list once we do get up there. Which will not be today. Lord Captain, we have received a transmission from the Adeptus Arbitus base of operations on Dargonis. Proctor Solimarn Anthar is invoking a pact made with her ladyship Theodora and asks for an audience. How are we to respond? Well, I suppose that depends. What agreement did Lady Theodora have with them? Unfortunately, Lady Theodora seldom shared any details of this sort with her crew, though I do know that she met with the Arbitus frequently. Very well. I'll look into it. At the very least, it'll be another glimpse into the machinations of this ship's former mistress. I will send word to Chancellor Wersurian about arranging a meeting with the Arbitus delegation. Also, spontaneous tentacle growth. We've seen that one before. Last time we tried to pray the tentacles away, which led to mass casualties. So, let's try a more surgical approach. The Medicaid team zealously set to work and started processing the Voidsmen in quick succession. Although many perished during the surgery, their sacrifices would not be in vain. As the vessel left the warp for real space, the fog vanished. Okay, so really a no-win situation. You're losing people no matter what. Spot check on colonies. All good. On to Dargonis, which is just one hop out, so... Oh, wait. Huh, really? Okay, well, you know what? We've got points to spare. Might as well make things a little easier on us in the future. Living Shadows. We've seen that one a couple of times, though this is new. The actual factual chances of success right there in the options. Though I do notice they both capped at 95%. Does that imply there's no longer auto success? Is there always a 1 in 20 chance of flubbing a roll? We'll have to look into that. That would be a definite shift. And let's go commit to the Arbit. Yeah, although I have avoided spoilers as a general rule, I have heard originally you're apparently supposed to meet this guy on Rykad Minoris, but not recruit him there. Apparently he doesn't actually join up with you till Act 2. You just get like an early intro in Act 1. Which I guess would make sense. His whole combat shtick is that he's an Overseer, and that's a Tier 2 archetype which you wouldn't have easy access to in Act 1. As opposed to Kibbs, who comes in with her own unique Tier 1 archetype. Which actually does beg the question of what the new guy's Tier 1 archetype might be. I'm actually not sure. Oh, hold on a second. Who's this lurking in the wings? Oh, look at that cutie. I'm so sad they're locked to Overseer. A finely dressed man greets you with an incredibly radiant smile. His meticulously polished jaw augmentation reflects the palace's interior as sharply as a mirror. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Lusarius Carmelin, the collector of curiosities. Perhaps your lordship will find something useful among my offerings. Well, consider my curiosities piqued. Please, tell me more. Lusarius points to his eagle, still smiling. Equipment for the noble cyber assistants, of course. The demand is modest, as few in the Imperium can afford such luxury. But I am glad to have found my calling. Judging by his expensive attire and ostentatious augmetics, Lusarius's wealth is unlikely to stem directly from his curiosity business. He came here following his heart, it seems, and not his greed. I've got to say, that is quite an impressive creature you've got there. I've never seen anything quite like it. What's its name? His polished jaw shining, Lusarius extends his hand toward the bird, the hand likewise made of shiny metal. Her name is Aquila. As soon as I saw her, I knew a creature of such proud grace simply must be properly taken care of. Now Aquila is an integral part of my life, as I am of hers. With a shrill cry, the eagle stabs her benefactor's metal palm with her beak. The augmetic yelps, while the merchant is still smiling as he modestly puts his hand back into his clothes and out of sight. Apologies. Aquila is still getting used to my replacement extremity. She liked the old one better. Judging by Aquila's displeased look, the bird's fondness of her owner's original extremity was of an alimentary rather than affectionate nature. Right. Are your myriad of augmetics related perhaps to your fledgling friendship with this two-faced fowl? You are exceptionally observant. The man laughs softly and melodiously, then shakes his head. Developing a friendship with such a noble creature is a thorny path, and after a moment of especially profound disagreement, I had to have my hand replaced. But this, Lusarius touches his jaw implant, his pride very evident. This was purely for the beauty of the thing. I used to be passionate about finding rare augmetics, and could not resist having them installed. Please keep this a secret from the Adeptus Mechanicus. I know the Red Priests don't condone things like that. Of course. I mean, I'm no stranger to augmetics myself. In fact, if you've still got access to any of those rare stockpiles, I know a few potentially interested parties. Well, I assure you my collection will offer you the biggest and broadest choice in all the expanse. However, even a devoted enthusiast like myself has his limits. There is a certain captain who owns a unique protocol, a family heirloom which he has refused to sell to me. His ship is called the Renegade's Fall. Perhaps you can chart a path to his hoarded treasure. I will send you the coordinates of the place where we last met. Right, of course. Well, I'll certainly look into that. I appreciate it. But as I'm already here, let's see what else you have in stock. Oh, wow, all sorts of stuff. Which, even just at a glance here, does... Oh, yeah. Okay, so each of these items is keyed to a specific one of the 4 different subtypes of familiar. The Cyberdoggo, the Psy Raven, the Captain Laserhawk, the Servo Skull Swarm. Which does make sense, because that was one thing that struck me when I was respecking Adira, was just how fragile her familiar was, even with, like, 40 levels under her belt. But these would certainly help offset that. Man, it would be fun to have more familiars in the party. It's just, I don't know if it's really worth the hassle of doing full respecs after we've gotten used to how our guys currently work. There is some temptation, though. All right, well, we'll take your entire stock. No reason not to. Congratulations, you're out of business. And with that, we push on. Oh, and speaking of familiars, you know, I could possibly see giving Pask a giant pile of floaty skulls. Though I've also, again, really kind of gotten used to using him as a grand strat at this point. He does serve a pretty pivotal role in our particular loadout. I will say, though, if CC was an option, I would absolutely respec in a heartbeat. Sadly, that does not appear to be the case. Anyway. Clementia, I understand the Adeptus Arbitus are here to hound me. Go ahead and send them in. I could afford a moment of pause. I will have the audience arranged immediately, your lordship.
Proctor Exactant, Solomon Anthar, I greet you on behalf of the Adeptus Arbites.
Arbites? That is not how I would have pronounced that. The formidable-looking man offers you a salute. His armor is immaculately polished, and a hulking cybermastiff sits at his feet. The arbitrator's face reveals nothing but imperturbable equanimity, and his gaze is cold and weighty as befits an enforcer of the law.
Thank you for responding to my request, Rogue Trader. I'm here on the orders of Marshal Strax to ask for your help. We are in pursuit of a tithe thief. We must board the thief's ship, execute the heretic for his crimes, and return the sacred tribute to the protection of the Adeptus Arbites. The reward for your assistance in this matter will be the thief's frigate, the Heartless, which we will capture in the course of the mission.
Ah, the Heartless. Yes, I can see how that would certainly make it difficult to perform a cardiac arrest. Well, you've certainly come to the right chamber. Your efforts were not in vain. I understand you had an arrangement with my predecessor, and I certainly see no reason to dismiss your request out of hand. Though I do, of course, have questions.
I hear the words of the true heir of Lady Theodora, and the promise of swift retribution against heretics.
Sure. Just, for my own edification, what exactly was the nature of your arrangement with my esteemed predecessor?
Your predecessor made a formal alliance with us. She provided us with a headquarters on Dargonis and supported us in the collection and guarding of the Imperial tithe on several occasions. We, in turn, assisted Lady Theodora in enforcing the law on the worlds under her control.
Okay, and this tithe, was it taken from one of my worlds?
From Rykad Minoris. The tithe ship departed shortly before the world fell and has not been in contact since. Our investigation revealed that the ship was plundered and destroyed. I already know the name and approximate location of the culprit.
I see. Well, that would put it in Winterscale's realm. Why approach me? Why not bring this up with him?
I did, and I was rebuffed. As Rogue Trader Winterscale rightly pointed out, from the moment of the tithe's collection, responsibility for it transfers to the Adeptus Arbates. He also noted that the loss of a world is not an inconsiderable detriment to his protectorate, and he has no intention of expending resources to recover something that no longer belongs to him.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. A rare moment of actual decent reasoning from my fellow rogue trader.
Under similar circumstances in the past, our arrangement would have obliged us to turn to Lady Theodora. She was a key figure in supporting the Lex Imperialis in the Coronis Expanse.
Right. While I do understand my peer's decision, it does seem like poor form to put oneself at odds with Imperial justice.
It is not for me to judge the Emperor's anointed, not least when I cannot fault his reasoning.
You know what? That is also fair. I like you, Solomorn. You seem very pragmatic. That's a rarity in this setting. You mentioned you were here on behalf of a marshal. Why send you in his stead? Why not come himself?
Marshal Strax is not in Dargonis at present, so he appointed me to speak on his behalf. Time is of the essence when there is a heretic to catch. I am sure he will present himself to you as soon as he returns to your capital world.
Marshal Strax. Understood. What can you tell me about this missing tithe?
Resources that every world is under obligation to relinquish for the good of the Imperium. In the case of Rykad Minoris, they include the ceramited explosive reagents produced on Rykadi Filia, armor glass, medical supplies, and guardsmen, a living tithe to be recruited into the regiments of the Astra Militarum. Cargo like that is particularly dangerous in the hands of heretics, as it can be easily converted into wealth or used for military purposes.
Yes, well, I mean, considering the people responsible for the downfall of Rykad Minoris, I suppose it is probably best to keep that out of their hands. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to derail the conversation, but, who's this handsome fellow?
Do not mistake, this is an attempt at bargaining, but I promise you, if you agree to help us, you will see how truly impressive Galato is in action.
Well, Solomorn, you know what? You drive a hard bargain. I was probably already going to help you anyway, but now, how can I refuse? So what exactly did you have in mind?
I suggest we move to a more private location where we can provide you with the case files. Captain Sargona and his flagship, the Heartless, are concealed in Mundus Nois. The exact location can only be determined with your ship's augurs when we enter the system.
Captain Sargona. Oh, Mundus Nullius. We were, like, literally just there. That's where we found the Halo device.
The Heartless is escorted by a small flotilla. You'll need to neutralize it in order to capture the frigate. Our BT strike teams will land on the upper deck, while your boarding party handles the remaining bays. My squad of arbitrators will take on the most difficult and dangerous part of the operation. The ultimate goal is to capture the captain's bridge and interrogate and execute Sargona.
Okay. Tell me more about this ship. You seem to think it quite a prize, but if that's the case, then will it really be so easy for us to claim?
The Heartless is the enemy flagship. It has been corrupted with inhuman technology, but you have the necessary resources to purge it of Xenos filth and make it serve the Imperium once more. Even if you don't wish to own a ship previously crewed by pirates, you will have prospective buyers lining up to take it off your hands. I'm no expert on ships, but when I questioned the captains on Footfall about the Heartless, they were almost salivating as they listed its virtues.
No, I'm fine with it. Okay, well, I mean, color me intrigued. I certainly wouldn't mind getting my hands on a prize like that, though. Really, what I think I'm more interested in is perhaps using this as the opening exchange of a long-term relationship with the Adeptus Arbitus. You had a working relationship with my predecessor. Perhaps we could arrange something similar? Who knows? Perhaps I'd even have a place for you on board my ship. If it's not too bold to suggest.
I do not have the power to choose my assignments, Rogue Trader. However, if the mission is successful, the Marshal is unlikely to refuse to deploy me as your escort.
You know what? That's fair. Whatever happens, happens. Who knows what the future holds? It is a mystery. Though I've got to say, just as a rogue trader, I should note that the main thing you're offering me right now is a ship that may be destroyed in the process of capturing it.
What I am offering is the coordinates of your future trophy and a team of arbitrators to help you take the vessel. You will be enriched, and you will be continuing the alliance formed by Lady Theodora with the Adeptus Arbites. It is for you to judge the value of this opportunity.
Yeah, all right. Understood. Solomorn nods curtly. Tell me more about this thief, Captain, Sargona?
Stein, transfer the latest data. Bryce, hologram. This one has the complete file.
Solomorn gives you a data slate. Right, well, why don't you, give me the Cribs Note version while I go through the rest of this.
He is a former privateer and a fugitive psyker. At one time, he was involved in the cold trade and the supply of Xenos mercenaries, but his pirate habits got the better of him, and he started robbing his associates. Now, even among the criminal rabble, he is known as a nasty piece of work. Something of an achievement, you will agree. Sargona is cunning, cruel, and unpredictable.
Sure, yeah, I've met a few like that in my time. Sentenced, Guido Sargona, homeworld unknown. Psyker, specialty pyromancy, formerly sanctioned. Abandoned his post on a privateer ship and joined the pirates. Confirmed links, Kaspalika, Xenos. Alleged heretical cults. Also implicated in at least 15 attacks on trading vessels. Status: alive. The image quality leaves something to be desired, but you can make out the criminal's surfeit of augments and sumptuous clothing. There is something haughty, almost maniacal in his bearing, like the tyrants who, sooner or later, proclaim themselves gods. This seems pretty thorough. Just out of curiosity, how do you know this is your guy?
Shortly after the fall of Rakad Manoris, I questioned the Liege of Footfall. He supplied me with exhaustive information about Sargona and his ship, and gave the arbitrators full access to the docks. I suspect Takara's compliance stems from some bad blood between him and Sargona. Scum eating scum. Nothing new there.
Yeah, that tracks. I've met Takara as well. That is 1,000,000% in character. I've heard enough.
As you wish.
So, you mentioned you had a plan. What exactly did you have in mind?
The task is relatively simple. Kill all enemies we encounter, and not let them kill us. Sargona must be taken alive for questioning, but I and my team will handle that. There is one other thing. The following call signs will be used for Vox communication during the mission. You will be RT1, and I will be DX1. I also request you use RBT sign language throughout. Non-verbal commands are faster than speaking and will allow us to catch our target unawares. Here is a short list.
Solomorn holds out another data slate. There are 24 basic commands, from head nods to combinations of hand gestures. Everything you need to quickly and efficiently communicate enemy position and numbers, and even coordinate joint attacks. Seems straightforward enough. Anything I should know about the call signs? I mean, I suppose RT is pretty self-explanatory.
DX1 means I am in command of the Delta Xi Squad. It's one of our standard designations for strike teams in the Expanse. RT1 is you, the Rogue Trader and leader of the Rho Theta Squad. For a short mission like this one, these identifiers should suffice.
Yeah, I'd say so. Sounds good to me.
Good. Do you have any further questions?
Actually, we're just one hop out from Mundus Nullius, but that's still plenty of time for something to go wrong. Can we count on your support if it does?
No. I'm still on mission, and in your absence, my subordinates and I will be checking weapons and finalizing tactics for the assault. In other words, we will be wholly occupied with preparations.
Fair enough. I guess that answers my questions. Let's get this show on the road. And, hope we don't get attacked mid-warp. Lest you all get killed before the main event.
Acknowledged. Sargona is already dead. He just doesn't know it yet.
Solomorn lays his hand on the back of the Mastiff's neck, speaking more to his dog than to you. Yeah, I'm sure there's a story there. But not to worry. Sargona get this guy. Let me just poke around a bit whilst we're already here, and then we'll head for Mundus Nullius. Event in Kiava Gamma. Oh. Also... Lord Captain, we have found the trail of the elusive Contempt. The ship was sighted in Latoshan's Passage. If we go after the pirates right now, we can catch them before those arrogant scoundrels slip away again. Also, potential alternate navigation path? We've done this one before. Oh, yes, I remember now. Alright, so it turns out we are in fact under attack. Alright, let me go take care of this. And we're back. Yeah, absolutely zero to worry about. It was like 6 bloodletters and a Chaos Space Marine. They were dead before they even got a turn. Quick spot check on colonies. Get more consumables. A stack and a half of Mechanicus. Plus another colony event to take care of. We'll deal with that later. And there's our heartless foe. Sadly, I don't think we have enough time to do the whole thing today, but we should be able to at least make our entrance. Let's see what we got. Lord Captain, the Augur crew has spotted a fleet dead ahead. The drive signature of the enemy flagship matches that of the Heartless. The escort ships are sticking to it like flies to Grok's shit. Anyway, what are your orders? Well, that really depends. What else are the augurs telling us? The enemy frigate is heavily armored and boasts a fighter launch bay, which for sure won't be empty. As long as the escorts are around to defend it, trying to board the vessel would be a death sentence. My advice is to take them out first, then attack the Heartless itself. Once the frigate is damaged, we can close in and board it. Why don't you open a channel? Might as well give our friend an opportunity to make things slightly easier on us. A silken, almost whispering voice fills the air. Ah, the illustrious rogue trader has arrived at last. Let me guess, you will now graciously offer me one chance to surrender? Oh, good. So you already know why we're here. That'll save us both some time. Solomorn? Captain Sargona, your void frozen remains will serve as a message to anyone who thinks they can lay their hands on the tithe and escape justice. In the name of the Lex Imperialis, prepare for execution, heretic. You can wave your Lex around in the Imperium, lawman, but this is the Expanse. The mighty pass the sentences here. You know what? You're not wrong. Hence why he's simply reading the words, and I'm the one turning them into an actual sentence. What a generous proposal! I think my response will be... A low hum rises out of the Vox. Can you hear it? That's the Heartless's lance weapon. I invite you to parley with it. You tried. I give that like a 4 out of 10 on the Pirate Banter playlist. Alright, let's make sure Guido doesn't shoot first. Here comes the Heartless. Ready the cannons. Aim strictly for the engines. We answer for the integrity of the tithe with our lives. 4 ships plus sword 10. The Heartless is a standard frigate from the looks of it, but they've got a Dark Eldar shadow field. Wouldn't mind getting my hands on that. As for the rest, looks to be basic Cobras. Nothing we're not used to. Just need to be wary of these weird clouds. And as per Ravor's suggestion, let's go ahead and start by trimming off the escorts. Perhaps he'll reconsider his defiance once he finds he's escort-marshaled. Nice, nice. Cobra 1 out. Might as well push the big guy off while we're at it, just to save ourselves some fire. Shields to starboard. And hold. Oh, wow. Yeah, you guys are in for a bad time. Even Sword 10 could tank that. Fighters deployed. Oh, weird. Torpedoes didn't get a turn for some reason, or rather, it looks like they do, but not till the end of the round. Slightly unusual. That's fine, though. We'll just do this the old-fashioned way. Finish Cobra 2. Nice. And Cobra 3.
With the force of a supernova.
Also nice. Might as well nuke the fighters while we're at it. Push the Heartless. And I think we can go for another salvo here.
Helmsman, take us in.
Perfect.
Last batteries. Volley.
Oh, yeah, and
Coordinates set.
that shield's gonna slow us down a little. Ooh, evasion gas. Not bad, Sword 10. That you might actually survive this. Weird. We've blown their engines. They won't get away from us now.
Torpedoes, away!
Lord Captain, order the cannons to stand down. You can't board a heap of scrap metal, and we'll lose the tide, too. Also, level up for our ship. Nice. Lord Captain, the boarding teams are raring to go. The Heartless's Geller field generator is cooked, so no warp diving for them now. And we've set off fireworks in their primary drive, too. That rust bucket isn't going anywhere. We can begin the assault on the ship right away. But experience tells me this will go a lot smoother if we deliver just a couple more precise strikes. How about we flatten a few heretics between the bulkheads to make the fighting easier for you, Lord Captain? Your Lordship, I must remind you that the Heartless has been promised to you as spoils. Every new blow to the ship would also be a blow to the dynasty's treasury. Man makes a good point. Besides, I'm fairly certain we've got these guys outclassed. We'll go in as is, maximize our loot yield. Solomorn, are your people ready to go? Ready and waiting. I'll see you on the upper deck of the Heartless, rogue trader. And this feels like a good place to call it. We'll hit the pause button for now, but fear not. We'll pick up here shortly. Heartless or not, we won't miss a beat. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Yuri V23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Acknowledged. Zargona is already dead. He just doesn't know it yet.